organise things. And if you've got something in your heart that you say, I really feel we should do this, come and talk to us. We're all for developing people here. And welcome if you're visiting today. This is the belonging slot. It's a short little section for those who feel this is their home church. And the theme is bees, as we've been saying. The reason we do this is because we don't have a strict official membership. Like you're either a member or you're not a member. We like to say, well, do you feel this is your home church? Do you feel loved and cared for? So if you do, then put your name on a bee and stick it on the wall. It's not because of the stinger in the tail. All right. So belonging affirmation. Now, I want to say something very quickly about bees. I don't know if you know this, but bees actually can do that. They can actually hang together. It's called festooning. They actually make a bridge. It's like a scaffold so that other bees can walk across them. Did you know they do that? No? Some scientists think it's also to measure the distance between honeycombs. But they work together, you see. It's great. And they let other bees walk over them. Not that we like to encourage that here. But it's the idea of working together. I just thought that was amazing. That's called festooning. And we need people in this church to bridge gaps, where there's gaps, etc. Now, bees don't keep good news to themselves. And when a bee discovers nectar, do you know what it does? Some of you will know this. It flies back to the hive and it starts sharing out a little bit of the nectar with the other bees. It says, here, look what I found, look what I found. Obviously not using English. It does what's called a waggle dance, you see. And what it does, the bees all gather around to watch it. And if the waggle is very, very fast, the bee is saying, this is really sweet food. And then, depending on which direction he faces, he might face down. That means they fly away from the sun. If it faces up on the cone, fly towards the sun. And depending on the angle, it gives a briefing session to tell the other bees where to fly. And then it will tell the bees how far away it is and the wind speed. So, why am I saying that? Well, in our church, if you get something good from the Lord, share it. We encourage testimonies here. Last week we had 2, really great, and people were blessed. If you got something, you share it. And someone outside the church, you share the nectar you've got. That's why also we chose bees. Did you know this? Bees wash each other. Not with soap and water, but they sort of, because they lick each other. We're not going to be doing that. But they clean each other up. When a bee gets covered in sticky nectar, the other bees come and, I'll help you out. And I think that's a great picture. We're to wash one another with the word of God. We're to wash one another with our love. You know that story of washing feet? We don't expect that here, but it's a picture of loving each other. That's what bees do. This is amazing. Bees care for sick bees. Did you know that? When a bee is sick, they don't just kill it and sting it and kick it out. They look after it. And some bees give up other things in order to care for a sick bee. And sometimes when a bee becomes a nurse, the other bees, they basically give it that job for life. Basically, the point is they're willing to sacrifice, building honeycomb and doing this and flying around. They're willing to sacrifice in order to care for the sick bee. And I know some of you in this church really care for people. And it's a sacrifice, but you do it because you love them. And lastly, did you know this? Bees keep each other warm when it's cold. They all get in a ball, and one's in the middle, all nice and warm, and all the bees on the outside get a bit chilly, because it's like a football kind of shape. And then they take it in turns, and when the ones outside have been cold for a bit, they get a chance to go on the inside of the ball, and all the other bees come on the outside and get cold for a bit, and they take it in turns. And it's a great picture of caring and loving each other. So that's why we chose bees, because it's a picture of working together as a church. Okay, so here are the words. If you feel this is your church at this time, please repeat the words after me. So we'll say them now, and I'll also read out something at the end to repeat as well. So let's just say these words together, if you feel this is your home church at this time. We affirm that Christ Church Ewell is our church, and we are members of the family here. We are committed to seeking God together, and we ask for his help that we may grow in grace, in knowledge, in holiness, and in love together. This is our church, and so we commit ourselves to one another and to God in this place. And let me just read this out. Can you sort of repeat after me, because I haven't put it on the screen, but because it's a new edition. It's up there above the bee's picture. As a church, we are committed to being followers of Jesus, growing in faith, together, and sharing God's love with others.